And welcome to a very special episode of Frankly Speaking, and thank you very much Parliamentary Affairs and Minority Affairs Minister Mr. Kiren Rijiju. आज तो सबसे पहले पूछना चाहिए कि सब ठीक ठाक है, कहीं चोट तो नहीं लगी, बैंडेज लाना है, बैंडेज लाना है कि मामला ठीक ठाक है।
शांतिपूर्वक शीतकालीन शांति से आज समाप्त हो गए हैं, सब ठीक ठाक है।
शांति से? आप इसको शांति कहते हैं?
समापन शांति से हो गया। समापन
मतलब आज का, कल का दिल भूल जाए, देश भूलना चाहता है क्योंकि एक मेंबर ऑफ पार्लियामेंट का सर फूट गया, एक को चोट लग गई, गंभीर रूप में अस्पताल पहुंच गए, एक महिला सांसद ने बहुत बड़ा आरोप लगाया है। देयर इज वन FIR, द कांग्रेस इज आस्किंग उनका जो कंप्लेंट है वो FIR क्यों नहीं बना, उस पर कोई एक्शन क्यों नहीं हुआ। मिस्टर किरण रिजिजू, सवाल ये है कि क्या was this necessary? Was this something that really shames our parliament?
First of all, I can say one thing, that all the members of parliament, especially from our side, the NDA MPs, we really wanted to participate in this winter session and also to bring out all the important people's issues in the House. From the opposition parties also, everybody wanted the House to run smoothly. But suddenly, a leader from Congress party tells his party MPs to create ruckus and don't let Parliament run smoothly. So that disrupted the entire proceedings, and which led to some ugly scenes which you just described yesterday in the premises of the Parliament. Normally, we raise our voice strongly, but that is very much welcome in the parliamentary democracy. You don't get into physical. Once the MPs start getting into physical action, then it is a matter to be worried. We all are very sad that the leader of opposition, Rahul Gandhi, physically charged the MPs and then also causing injury to two of our senior, aged, fragile MPs, and then they were admitted to hospital. So I was very clear at the time of incident when it was reported that we don't get into physical. We have enough numbers, strengths, but Parliament is not to display your physical strength. So the same place where the Congress party had been raising slogans, carrying placards and all for last 1 week, the same spot when the BJP and NDA MPs started replying to Rahul Gandhi and his team with very befitting slogans, he got agitated and he physically charged our MPs. But our MPs are very patient, very responsible. Nobody hit back physically. So we are responsible people for that matter.
I want to ask you again, was this Rahul Gandhi charging, pushing, causing physical harm, or was it an accident in the melee that somebody lost their balance? Because opposition members of parliament have come out and stated कि ये ड्रामा है। ये ड्रामा था क्या किरण रिजिजू जी?
ड्रामा होते तो कोई हॉस्पिटल में सर फट के खून होके एडमिट होता क्या? तो गलत काम करने के बाद और फिर से गलत बात बोलना, यही तो बहुत दुख का बात है। एक तो गलत काम करते हो, पार्लियामेंट्री डेमोक्रेसी, संसदीय परंपरा का जो इन्होंने हनन किया है, फिर उसके बाद फिर हल्का फुल्का में झूठ बोलना, ऐसा नहीं चलता है। हम सब रिस्पॉन्सिबल लोग हैं, चुने हुए सब प्रतिनिधि हैं, भारत सरकार में हम लोग सब बहुत ही महत्वपूर्ण काम कर रहे हैं। इसमें इस तरह का हल्का फुल्का तू में हमको नहीं जाना है। हमको सिर्फ इतना ही देखना है कि संसदीय परंपरा के अनुसार कोई MP अगर गलत व्यवहार करता है तो उसको आत्मचिंतन भी करना चाहिए और फिर ये भी सुनिश्चित करना चाहिए कि भविष्य में ऐसा और काम ना करें।
किरण रिजिजू जी, मैं समाजवादी पार्टी के एक MP का ट्वीट आपको दिखा रही हूँ, विजुअल ट्वीट है। कल 12 बजे पट्टी का साइज इतना था, फिर 2 बजे थोड़ा बड़ा हुआ, 5 बजे तक पूरे सर में था और 8 बजे रात को इतना था। इसके अलावा रामगोपाल यादव जी ने कहा है कि बीटाडीन लगाया, खून भी नहीं निकला था, बीटाडीन था। जया बच्चन जी ने कहा है। Why is there such lack of belief, trust between the opposition and the treasury benches?
नहीं, सबसे पहले तो चोट को लेकर के किसी को आपत्ति, किसी को उसमें कुछ टिप्पणी करने का अधिकार नहीं है। वो सिर्फ डॉक्टर ही बोल सकते हैं। जब चोट लगते हैं तो सबसे पहले तो वो चोट को रोकने के लिए पट्टी बांधता है, बाद में डॉक्टर उसको क्या करता है, मैं तो डॉक्टर नहीं हूं, लेकिन ऑन द स्पॉट जब खून निकला तो उस समय तो खून का जो जहां निकला है उसको बंद करना होता है। कहीं भी हो, सब जगह ऐसे ही होता है। पट्टी बांधने का पूरा उसको रिकवरी के लिए जो करता है वो मेडिकल प्रोसेस है, और मेडिकल प्रोसेस से भी आपत्ति है इन लोगों को, और इसको मजाक लेना ये तो बहुत शर्मनाक बात है। कोई चोट लग जाए, ऑपोजिशन रूलिंग मत देखिए। जब कोई इंसान का दुखद मृत्यु होता है, चोट लगता है, तो बाकी चीज भूल जाते हैं और आप एक स्नेहपूर्वक एड्रेस करते हैं कि आप जल्दी ठीक हो जाइए, हम आपका चोट से दुखी है। ये एक आम इंसान का एक्सपेक्टेड बिहेवियर होता है, लेकिन इसमें भी मजाक करना और इसमें भी गलत बात करना, इससे लगता है कि राजनीति का स्तर गिराने के लिए इन लोगों ने कोई कसर नहीं छोड़ा। लेकिन हम लोग तो संयम से काम करते हैं। हम लोग ये तू मैं और इस तरह का बयानबाजी को हम पलटवार नहीं करना चाहते। खुद सोचे, आत्ममंथन करें।
Mr. Kiran Rijiju, let me also ask you about a very serious charge made by the Nagaland Member of Parliament in Rajya Sabha, Ms. Konyak, who stood in Parliament and made this statement in front of the Chairman of Parliament. On that itself, many parliamentarians, including women parliamentarians, have come out and said that they were present there, they have witnessed this entire melee, and at no point was Rahul Gandhi close to her in the proximity in any objectionable manner. I want to ask you, because this is a serious charge, what is the truth? You have access to CCTV footage, you have access to all the security footage. What is the investigation or preliminary investigation throwing up?
No, that is very clear. There's nothing to dispute on the incident. If anybody says otherwise, then he must be lying, because Rahul Gandhi himself admitted that at the Makkar Dwar gate, he was trying to go there and then he was blocked. So he was doing the pushing and all this.
He said he was pushed.
He said धक्का मुक्की होता ही है, वो कुछ नहीं है. He said that in a video, I saw it. So that is the same spot where the Congress party were agitating for last 7 days. Same spot. It is the entry gate where there are stairs. So the BJP MPs and other NDA MPs were standing there. He forcefully went there, and then in the process, he hit the two MPs, and he physically created discomfort for the MP from Nagaland. So I was not there. So the female MP from Nagaland, he told all of us that he felt very bad because Rahul Gandhi charged and pushed, and then she was standing there and she was feeling very disturbed and uncomfortable because Rahul Gandhi came right in front of her, pushed, and then stood before her with all chest thumping and moving his arms and all. So that is why she was agitated. She is a very calm MP. She normally doesn't speak much. She is a very calm MP.
She hasn't been spotted since yesterday. Our reporters have gone to her house also. Her husband is there. She's not there. Is the BJP preventing her from making any statement?
No, there's nothing called prevention. Today, there's a house was there to sit for the Senadai, and she was there, and other MPs were there.
Mr. Kiran Rijiju, questions have also been raised on why the matter which happened in the precincts of the parliament, which could have been looked at by the speaker of Lok Sabha, was actually referred to the Delhi police?
No, that is a technical issue. When any incident happens inside the house, then speaker has all the authority to manage the affairs by deploying his marshals and other security staff inside the house. But the incident which happened was outside the house. No doubt it's with the precincts of the Parliament House, but it's outside. The incident led to injury and then subsequently admitted to hospital. That was the reason. The injury portion has caused the aftermath complaint filing in the police, and then, of course, I will not make any comment on what police should take action because the laws are there. As per the law, police will take action. But what I'm saying is the injury has led to the police complaint. But fortunately, today I'm told that the injury is not very grievous. Our senior MPs and ministers had gone to the hospital and checked the patient, but the injury is not very serious, which would cause danger. It was injury, painful, but not dangerous.
Mr. Kiren Rijiju, the question that arises is this one-upmanship between the opposition and the Treasury benches reached a situation where confrontation has now not been limited to exchange of words? The level of words itself was declining rapidly, but now it's come down to physical fisticuffs almost. I want to ask you, this one-upmanship, where is it going to end? When you talk about a police complaint, the Congress also raises the question that they have given a police complaint. No investigation on that is taking place. There is a sense of total mistrust. Is that what was envisaged by the makers of our constitution when they framed the constitution and gave parliaments and members of parliament the rights that they did?
First of all, let me assure you, these incidents, what you saw in the parliament yesterday and over last close to a month, this will not lead to disruptions in the parliamentary system itself. Parliament will continue to function and parliamentary democracy will continue to prevail. That is very clear. The only thing is one must be able to assess own action, whether it is justified or not. The people of India have reposed faith on the government and also to the members who are there in the House. Now, we all want to run the parliament smoothly. The opposition members also told me that they want to see that parliament functions smoothly. The first 4 days, we saw some problems, and then subsequently we sat together, and each bills which were to be listed had also been allocated time. Each bills had been allotted the time. And then suddenly, there was some verdict somewhere in the United States, some court against a businessman who is an Indian. Now, there are more than 40 million Indians across the globe. They must be having some litigations, some court cases somewhere. This is something which is not in our hand. Now, because one court in the United States has pronounced some kind of court order against somebody, how should that prevent Parliament of India to function? If they have some issues, they can raise in the House, but as per the rules, just because the Congress party for the third consecutive time could not reach 3-figure digit, that frustration should not be, unleashed on the other MPs. The position which Congress has today is because of their own performance, is because their own credibility, is about their own functioning, their own status and their own party's position. How do their conditions is related to government and the parliament. So the frustration what we see is that since they are out of power for 3 consecutive terms, they want to create ruckus in the house, thereby making news and try to create a narrative and to set the course of politics. We won't allow that. The only thing I want to tell you very clearly is that will not prevent government from functioning. We passed some bills. We could
4
have passed
bills in Lok Sabha and 3 in Rajya Sabha, 40% capacity or time utilization.
We could have passed more bills, but we had decided not to pass the bills amid the din in the house. So we just had enough patience to ensure that we should not do anything which will look ugly. In the past, many bills have been passed. All important bills are passed in the interest of the country, even in the din in the house. But this time we have not pushed through any single bill in the din in
Why?
the house.
Were you on the back foot?
It's not a question of back foot. We just wanted to show that government is functioning well. We have passed, which are important bills. We can wait for some time. If necessary, we have the numbers. Our government enjoys majority, and we can very well push through the bills. But those bills are not that urgent, which had to be passed within this session. So we will push through those bills.
The charge against you is that all the so-called drama enacted, as stated by the opposition, was done to distract attention away from the objectionable part of Home Minister Amit Shah's speech on reference of Ambedkar in the reply to the Constitution debate.
No, that part, there has been privilege notice against Khargeji in Rajya Sabha and against Sri Rahul Gandhi in Lok Sabha. Taking a 12-second video clip and then circulating it with the intention of causing disharmony in the society and to mislead the people, it's a condemnable. However, we are saying that Home Minister in his close to 2-hour speech had eloquently explained the contributions of Dr. Bhimrao Ambedkarji and the devotion and all the honor which we had done to carry forward the legacy of Ambedkar and also to ensure that his ideals are followed. Now, during the entire speech, to take out 12-second clips and then twist the meaning of the speech, that is very wrong. So if you continue to hear the speech of the Home Minister, after that 12-second clip, he has clearly said that these continuously taking the name of Ambedkarji and misusing his name for political gain, he was referring to Congress party. He is not saying about what we think and what we do. He was referring to them that you take his name repeatedly, and instead of that you should also not only take his name but follow his ideals. So if you listen to another 2 minutes more after the 12-second clips, just hear another 2 minutes. The entire thing is very clear. How can you distort the whole sentence with just taking out 12-second clips?
So I want to ask you, the Lok Sabha elections, there was a similar issue of sliced and diced segments of a speech, questioning reservation. Now this, is this part of a toolkit? Is that why the BJP and the government responded just so seriously, even so far as to create a confrontation which led to the physical confrontation yesterday?
No, in fact, we had controlled our MPs. The NDA MPs were...
तो वो मार देते क्या जाके?
नहीं, they were extremely furious to the extent that इसको जवाब कैसे देना है. मैंने बोला जवाब देना है मगर मारपीट करके नहीं. We were very clear from the day one, we will not get into physical. It's shameful to get into physical action in the house. So BJP MPs, some of them were very young. Especially yesterday after 2 of our MPs got injured. They were very furious. But having said that, what I want to convey very, very plainly is that even when they tried to mislead the nation, we still remained very calm. We only told them that don't mislead the nation, hear the speech completely, and let the people of India decide. You raised objection, that's fine once. Why do you need to disrupt the House? It's only after a consensus decision that the discussion on the adoption of the Constitution was discussed. Two days in Lok Sabha, 2 days in Rajya Sabha. And at the end of the reply in Rajya Sabha, they felt that they have lost out because all those misdeeds of Congress party were completely exposed. And then they started creating this debate. If they had a serious objection on the Home Minister's remark, why didn't they protest at that time? Even after Home Minister's reply, Mallikarjun Kharge ji and other Congress leaders were giving bites to the television. It was afterthought incident. When something happened from Lok Sabha, their leader of opposition must have told them, or who told them, I don't know. They started protesting late in the night. If it was that, what they are saying, then they should have raised objection and all.
So you're saying the Congress President Mallikarjun Kharge was acting after orders were given by the leader of opposition in Lok Sabha, Rahul Gandhi?
Absolutely. Otherwise, Kharge ji would have raised hue and cry at that moment if he felt that what he is saying now. Kharge ji is a very old, senior, seasoned person. I respect him a lot. I've gone to his house. We had a discussion. And in fact, he shared with me many things. He is my fatherly person, so I have a high respect to him. I don't question about his ability to understand things on the spot. He was there.
क्या बोला उन्होंने आपको?
No, we had discussion. Besides politics, he told me many things about our life and other issues. But on that day, in the evening of 17th of December, when Home Minister made the speech, if he really felt what he is saying now, that Home Minister had made a very derogatory remark against Ambedkar ji, he would have protested and the entire Congress party would have raised the issue that time. That time they were peaceful.
Did you speak to him after that when they started protesting?
I met him and I don't want to pass a very demeaning comment about Kharge ji. He's such a senior person. But the protest is an afterthought. He got direction from somewhere and he started raising this issue.
आपकी बात हुई उनसे?
No, when I met him, there were other people. I said, house chalne dijiye, that's all. Nothing.
What did he say to you?
No, by that time, he said, everybody feels that the house should, get sine die and call off. So we all agreed, fine.
That was today?
Today morning, yeah.
And yesterday morning, did you speak to him about, the out of context part of the speech that was being...
I did not speak to him yesterday because I was quite busy into the other formation of JPC and I was consulting with the different parties to get the names to be included in the JPC. There was lots of negotiations. Then we had to increase the numbers of members in the JPC from 31 to 39. So I was very busy till late night. So I could not speak to Kharge ji last night. But this morning we met and we sat together in Rajya Sabha chairman's chamber. And he was cool today. He was not very...
Did you have a conversation with Mr. Rahul Gandhi?
No, Rahul Gandhi ji, no, I did not have a personal discussion with him because most of the time he authorizes to Venugopal ji and Gaurav. And in Rajya Sabha, most of the time, Jairam Ramesh ji, he comes to my house. I mean, that is how I'm the Parliamentary Affairs Minister. So they come to my house and we discuss about many other things. So Rahul Gandhi ji has given charge to mainly these three people.
So there's no conversation between the Parliamentary Affairs Minister and the Leader of Opposition in Lok Sabha through this entire Parliament session?
No, we meet, we greet.
Meet and greet, but conversations, discussions, how to make the House run?
I want to, but he has authorized to these people. When even
Have you asked specifically to discuss it with Mr. Gandhi?
No. In the first, when the House convened in the beginning, even for his allocation of bungalows for Rahul Gandhi as leader of opposition, I went to him. I asked him, you give me your choice of the house, and as per the availability, we will make request to the Director of the State for allotment of appropriate building for him. And he said, मैं वेणु जी को ऑथराइज किया है, वेणु जी आपको बता देंगे क्या क्या है. So since he has authorized, so it's fine. For me, I mean, like, I have to deal with the Congress party. Whoever is the appointment, that is for them to decide who should negotiate.
But don't you think there should be a direct line, a direct conversation?
No, that's okay. I'm dealing with not the person, I'm dealing with the party. Whoever is authorized, it is the Congress party to take a call. I can't decide who should be the appointment I should be talking to.
So are you saying there's no camaraderie, there's no, backslapping? I mean, once the house is adjourned, आपस में बातचीत, चाय का कप, इतना भी शिष्टाचार नहीं है?
Navika ji, the situation is not as it appears on the particular day. Otherwise, we sit together and we sip tea and coffee.
राहुल गांधी के साथ?
राहुल गांधी का साथ नहीं होता है क्योंकि वो बहुत कम आते हैं ना. वो आकर के थोड़ा देर बैठ के चले जाते हैं, तो उनका बहुत ज़्यादा लगाव नहीं है संसदीय कार्य से, और इसलिए उनके लोग लेकिन काफ़ी मेरे साथ टच में रहते हैं. वेरी इनफॉर्मल मीटिंग एंड वेरी कैजुअल एंड फन, एवरीथिंग इज पार्ट ऑफ ऑल आवर कन्वर्सेशन.
इस सेशन में एक थोड़ा सा कंट्रोवर्सी इस बात को भी लेके था कि सामने की बेंचेस में कौन बैठेगा, और समाजवादी पार्टी को लगता था कि उनके कुछ और सांसद सामने बैठना चाहिए.
आपने ये बात पूछा इसलिए मैं बोल रहा हूं. पार्लियामेंट में कौन कहां बैठना है उसका एक व्यवस्था है और एक परंपरा भी है. जैसे फॉर्मर प्राइम मिनिस्टर है तो उसको आगे का सीट बैठने के लिए उसको एलोकेट किया जाता है. लीडर ऑफ द हाउस, लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन, वो आगे ही बैठता है. फिर डिप्टी स्पीकर का और लीडर ऑफ अपोजिशन के राइट साइड में बैठता है. ये परंपरा है. देन प्राइम मिनिस्टर जो लीडर ऑफ द हाउस है उसके बाद एज पर सीनियरिटी हम लोग रखते हैं. सो आई हैव प्रपोज्ड द सीट फॉर आवर साइड. दे आर टू प्रपोज द सीट फॉर देयर साइड. प्रॉब्लम कहाँ हो गया, कांग्रेस पार्टी ने 4 सीट फ्रंट सीट मांगा है और समाजवादी ने 2 सीट मांगा है. मैं कौन होता हूं इसको भगाने वाला या इसको बिठाने वाला? सिस्टम बना हुआ है. तो अखिलेश यादव जी समाजवादी का फ्लोर लीडर है तो आगे बैठ सकता है. तो समाजवादी ने कहा कि उनका और एक एमपी है जो फैजाबाद से एमपी बनता है, उसको आगे बिठाना चाहते हैं. तो हमारा सिर्फ इतना ही कहना है कि कोई पर्टिकुलर एक जगह से चुन के आया है इसलिए आगे उसको बिठाना है, ऐसे कोई परंपरा नहीं होता है. फ्लोर लीडर और सीनियरिटी, कई चीजें आपको देखना पड़ता है. तो अब समाजवादी अखिलेश की जगह में किसी और को आगे बिठाना चाहता है तो वो कर सकते हैं, मगर अखिलेश जी भी आगे बैठेंगे और क्योंकि वो एमपी वहां से उस पर्टिकुलर कॉन्स्टिट्यूंसी का एमपी है इसलिए आगे बिठाना है, ऐसा परंपरा नहीं है. और कांग्रेस पार्टी को 4 फ्रंट सीट दिया है तो उन लोग ने कहा, उन्होंने 4 मांगा है तो हो सकता है कि उनमें से एक पीछे बैठ सकते हैं. सीट का भी फाइनलाइज नहीं हुआ. हमारा सीट तो हमने तय कर चुके हैं कि हमारा जो एनडीए.
तो कांग्रेस का डिस्क्रिशन है अगर वो एक एक्स्ट्रा समाजवादी पार्टी को दे दें.
कांग्रेस ने 4 सीट फ्रंट में जो उनने मांगा है उसमें से एक अगर समाजवादी को दे देते हैं तो वो एडजस्ट कर सकते हैं. वो स्पीकर साहब
अदरवाइज अवेलेबिलिटी नहीं है.
फिर तो
या
जगह नहीं है.
आप का दिल तंग है क्योंकि वो अयोध्या की सीट से जीत कर आए हैं इसलिए आप सामने नहीं बिठाएंगे.
तो क्या वो एक सीट से जीत के आए इसलिए आगे बैठना है कि ऐसा कोई परंपरा नहीं होता है. हमारा सीट हमारा संख्या के हिसाब से और सरकार का एक पद्धति है, जो सीनियर मिनिस्टर होते हैं वो उस हिसाब से बैठते हैं. और सीट को लेकर के राजनीति भी नहीं होना चाहिए. और अल्टीमेटली सब स्पीकर को अपना बात रखते हैं जा करके, फिर उसके बाद में एक व्यवस्था बनाया हुआ है. मैं ये नहीं मानता हूं कि कौन कहां बैठना चाहिए. वो मोटा मोटा तय हो गया और एक दो बचा कुछ है वो भी हम लोग उसको सेटल कर लेंगे, स्पीकर साहब उसको सबको मना लेंगे.
So do you think this entire movement of no confidence was a stunt by the opposition?
More than a stunt, I think it is an act of frustration.
Since you're also the Minority Affairs Minister, let me ask you, were you not prepared? Was the government not prepared? Is that why they postponed the bill?
The Waqf Amendment Bill requires wider consultation, so we referred it to JPC.
This session of Parliament was also notable because पहली बार चेयरमैन ऑफ राज्यसभा के खिलाफ नो कॉन्फिडेंस मोशन आया, जिसे अब रिजेक्ट कर दिया गया है, पर आया. It was an issue where the chair was called partial to the ruling side and the opposition jointly wanted him to be removed.
See, there is provision to serve a petition against Vice Chairman's removal. I'm not denying that. But I am surprised. Many of the Congress MPs are senior enough to understand the system, the rules, the procedures. They submitted a notice for the removal of the Honorable Vice Chairman. Not a single Honorable Chairman of the Rajya Sabha. Not a single condition is fulfilled. How can they do that? I wanted to ask the Congress leaders, how could you do such kind of a...
So why did they do it?
I don't know. First of all, the 14 days notice period, they did not follow. Secondly, the notice has to be accompanied by a resolution of the House. The resolution to be moved by certain numbers of MPs. That was not accompanied. Thirdly, the notice which they are, putting into the table must address. There's no address. They just wrote without address a notice. Notice has to be addressed, and then they finally.
So you can't give a notice to the chairman
Chairman
about
SG,
the removal of the chairman.
They should address
To the
Deputy
secretary.
Chairman, Secretary General, anybody. No address. Finally, the name itself, the chairman's name, was wrong. The spelling was wrong. So very, very surprising.
So do you think this entire movement of no confidence was a stunt by the opposition?
More than a stunt, I think it is an act of frustration. Because chairman has been very kind actually to all the members. He has been giving fair chances to all. I don't know what prompted them to do this. It was a very avoidable, kind of an action by opposition parties.
So let me also ask you a rapid fire question. You brought in a Waqf amendment bill. Question is, many announcements were made that we are bringing it, we are going to pass it. Since you're also the Minority Affairs Minister, let me ask you, were you not prepared? Was the government not prepared? Is that why they postponed the bill? Or were you worried that it's already a tenuous situation in Parliament, that's why you bought time? And thirdly, you're waiting for the right moment so that polarization and elections can happen together at whenever you need it next?
No, passing of the bills are not directly related to the electoral politics. It's a requirement for the nation. But the Waqf Amendment Bill requires wider consultation, so we referred it to JPC. When it went to JPC, it received more than 10 million public petitions and complaints and other notices. So when the chairman of the JPC informed the government that many more people want to appear before the JPC, I also got many representation seeking appointment with the JPC, and also they wanted to consult many of their community people about many incidents. So government felt that it is a subject where more deliberation will benefit. Why not? it was
So what about the one nation, one election? That also, there's no hurry. Why was it brought in a hurry overnight and then sent to the JPC?
It's not
Why?
overnight. It was sent to initially a high-powered committee headed by former President of India. They had a very extensive deliberations, and then the report was submitted to the government. Then the report was accepted by the cabinet, and then finally a bill was placed in the House and then referred to JPC. So it's a very due process.
UCC, the Prime Minister spoke about it in his reply in Lok Sabha to the Constitution debate. We've heard a lot about UCC since 2014. Every manifesto of the BJP has it. But bill kab aayega?
It started from
Waqf.
Uttarakhand, UCC. So, see,
Or did you feel कि 2/3 majority में अभी समय है तो
I think the Home Minister made a very clear reference to that UCC is an issue which was deliberated extensively in the Constituent Assembly, and Dr. B.R. Ambedkar really wanted it to be done, but somehow they could not do it that time. However, it was made a provision in the Article 44 of the Constitution. Subsequently, the Supreme Court and many high courts had given direction to the government to bring UCC. So Home Minister had nicely explained to the House that it is an issue which concerns the civil rights of the people. So it must be brought through different states. So if there are requirements for improvement, addition, deletion of provisions, we will have time. So now initially the Uttarakhand government will implement first, and then subsequently other states will follow.
I also want to ask you the question on the fact that there has been a widespread attempt of trying to dig up various masjids to find mandirs. कहीं शिवलिंग मिलता है, कहीं मंदिर निकलता है, कहीं कुएं निकल जाते हैं, कहीं खंडित मूर्तियां निकल जाती हैं. Do you think this is something that will maintain the communal harmony in a state, in a country as large as India?
ये सब विषय तो ऐसा है, ये बीजेपी सत्ता में आया इसलिए ये विषय शुरू हुआ ऐसा तो है नहीं. मंदिर का इशू, मस्जिद का इशू, हर जगह अपना अपना लोगों का विवाद होता है. कहीं पुराना विवाद है, कहीं बाद में पैदा हुआ. ये हमारा सरकार आने से विवाद पैदा हुआ ऐसा तो है नहीं.
संभल में जो हुआ वो तो ये अभी का विवाद है.
ठीक है, हमारे समय में ये हुआ है, मतलब हम लोग अभी सत्ता में हैं, लेकिन हमने पैदा नहीं किया ना. ये आस्था का विषय है. मैं यहाँ बैठ करके किसी का आस्था के बारे में मैं आराम से कमेंट पास नहीं कर सकता हूँ कि ये ठीक किया, ये गलत किया है.
आप पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर्स मिनिस्टर हैं.
पार्लियामेंट चलाने का व्यवस्था मेरा जिम्मेदारी है. किसी का आस्था के बारे में टिप्पणी करना या यहाँ से बैठ करके निर्णय करना, ऐसा चीज तो
प्लेसेस ऑफ वर्शिप एक्ट, आपकी सरकार, और आप कानून मंत्री रह चुके हैं पहले, आपकी सरकार स्टैंड क्यों नहीं लेती? कम से कम 6 बार ये मैटर इन द सुप्रीम कोर्ट आ गया है और सरकार ने अब तक एफिडेविट क्यों नहीं दिया? क्या व्यूज हैं?
देखिए, समय समय में जो होता है वो अनुकूल होता है. हर चीज अभी मैं बोल दूंगा या अभी क्यों नहीं किया, अभी करेंगे, ऐसे तो होता नहीं. इतना बड़ा देश में कई लोगों का विषय होता है, तो इवन सुप्रीम कोर्ट भी हर चीज को बारीकी से देखने के बाद ही निर्णय करते हैं. ये तो वैसे भी आस्था का जो विषय होता है, इसको कोई आराम से निर्णय कर देंगे या आराम से अपना मुद्दा को एक छोटा सा विषय बना देंगे, ऐसा नहीं कर सकते. ये बड़ा मुद्दा है, इसको मैं अपना टिप्पणी नहीं देना.
बट डू यू थिंक इट इज राइट? इफ एवरी, आई कैन अंडरस्टैंड मथुरा में आस्था का विषय है या ज्ञान वापी का आस्था का विषय, ये पहले से चले आ रहे हैं, लेकिन कभी अलीगढ़ में, कभी संभल में, कभी अजमेर शरीफ में। जब इस तरह के मुद्दे उठते हैं, आपको लगता है ये सही है?
यही तो मैं कह रहा हूं, किसी भी जगह में किसी ने कुछ मुद्दा उठाया, मैं कैसे कह सकता हूं कि ये मुद्दा गलत उठाया आपने? ये तो मुझे जानकारी नहीं, कोर्ट कह सकते ना कि आपका मुद्दा सही है या गलत है। मैं अभी
सरकार का कोई व्यू नहीं है।
जिस चीज को सरकार ने नहीं उठाया या कोई आस्था का विषय है, उसमें सरकार भी कैसे निर्णय करेगा? आस्था का जो विषय होता है बहुत संवेदनशील होता है, इस पे आसानी से कोई टिप्पणी करना ठीक नहीं है।
Kiran Rijiju ji, before I let you go, I still want to come back to the issue of the fracas, the physical fisticuffs that happened. CCTV footage कहाँ है?
देखिए, सीसीटीवी का फुटेज का जहां तक सवाल है, कभी कभी कुछ एंगल ऐसा होता है कि क्लियर नहीं भी हो सकता है। कभी
आपने देखा?
मैंने देखा है, वो उसको मुझे क्लियरली दिखाई नहीं दिया, लेकिन हम लोग कोशिश कर रहे हैं कोई अच्छा वाला क्लियर वाला मिल जाए। पार्लियामेंट का जो मैंने एक पर्सन को मैंने देखा है, तो वो एंगल से हो रहा है स्कफल, मैंने देखा है, मगर
राहुल गांधी धक्का देते हुए नजर नहीं आ रहे।
नहीं, सबका चेहरा एक साथ में जो देखा उसमें क्लियर नजर नहीं आ रहा था, तो हमने तो ये कहा कि वो क्लियर वाला किसी के पास है या पार्लियामेंट का कहीं कोई एंगल से है तो वो देखना चाहिए। मैं जैसे कहा ना, कल से मैं इतना बिजी था कि मैं इस केस को अभी मैं नहीं देख रहा।
केस तो टॉप प्रायोरिटी पे है, एफआईआर दर्ज हो रहे हैं, अटेम्प्ट टू मर्डर की बात हो रही है, तो आप भी पार्लियामेंट्री अफेयर मिनिस्टर हैं, आपने तो हर एंगल का सीसीटीवी फुटेज मंगाया होगा।
ठीक है, मगर इन्वेस्टिगेशन का जो मामला होता है वो मंत्री का काम नहीं होता है, वो तो जो इन्वेस्टिगेटिंग ऑफिसर्स है।
उन्होंने आपको कुछ बताया देखकर?
अभी तक मैंने बात नहीं किया, क्योंकि मैं अभी पार्लियामेंट समाप्त करके फिर अपना एक औपचारिक प्रेस कॉन्फ्रेंस करके मैं यहाँ आया हूँ।
और आज विपक्ष औपचारिक चाय पर भी नहीं गया स्पीकर के, ये टोटल ब्रेकडाउन। और
राज्यसभा में आए,
लोकसभा में नहीं आया।
लोकसभा में मेरे रहते समय नहीं आया वो लोग। मैं जब
अनफॉर्चुनेट, डेलिबरेट?
हाँ, ये तो पता नहीं, मैंने कहा भी था कि आप लोग आइए, तो वो आए नहीं। मैं बाहर सबको
किनको कहा था? राहुल गांधी को कहा था या उनके?
राहुल गांधी तो आज हाउस में आया ही नहीं है।
प्रियंका गांधी वाड्रा?
प्रियंका गांधी को मैंने दिखाई नहीं दिया। मैंने वेणुगोपाल और बाकी लोगों को कहा, तो वो बोला कि नहीं, अभी हम लोग बाहर जा रहे हैं, इसलिए बाद में मिलेंगे। ऐसे नमस्ते किया, तो मैंने कहा ठीक है, क्योंकि कोई जबरदस्ती तो कर नहीं सकते हैं।
What do you think about Priyanka Gandhi Vadra's bags and the messages on it? Palestine one day, Bangladesh one day, and today a BJP member of parliament has presented her the 1984. Bag politics now?
No, I don't believe in fashionable bags displaying political statements. I don't believe in that. I believe in substantive action in the House, and your performance should be based on what you have shown to the people, not by carrying bags, but by speaking in the House or doing things for the people.
Do you think the people who voted these members of parliament and sent them to parliament, today they are a sad lot because none of their concerns have featured in this parliament session?
I think it's a loss for the members of parliament across the political parties. They should tell their respective leaders not to resort to this kind of disruptive tactics to divert the attention of the people or to draw headlines and create wrong political narratives. I think if every political party, especially every member of parliament, puts up pressure to leaders like Sri Rahul Gandhi.
But he is the leader of opposition.
That's what, they have to put pressure to the leader of opposition.
Who will put?
The MPs who are deprived of their speaking and other actions in the House. Members of parliament have many roles. So they can put pressure to Sri Rahul Gandhi.
होगा ऐसा?
If everybody puts pressure, especially in Congress MPs and the opposition MPs, they put pressure to Rahul Gandhi, definitely good sense will prevail. I believe so.
आपको लगता है it's possible, plausible?
Although he seems to be incorrigible, but if all the opposition MPs put pressure, he will definitely, he will relent to the pressure.
Well, on that note, with a hope and a prayer that the next session of Parliament does some business better than what happened in this session, and of course, the country can do without fisticuffs in Parliament. And next session is also a very important session, the budget session of Parliament. But till then, Mr. Kiren Rijiju, all I can say is good luck to you. Nurse your throat and maybe think of an idea or two कि क्या हो सकता है, कैसे हो सकता है. कुछ ऐसा काम शुरू किया अपने आइडिया सोचने का?
नहीं, अभी तो मेरा गला बैठा हुआ है तो उसको ठीक करना है.
चिल्लाने से बैठ गया है या मनाने से बैठ गया?
नहीं, वो इन्फेक्शन हो गया था और ठंडा है मौसम, और फिर मेरा लगातार भाषण हुआ, फिर उससे पहले मेरा कुछ इन्फेक्शन हुआ था. वो 1-2 दिन में ठीक हो जाएगा, लेकिन हम बजट सेशन के लिए अच्छा से तैयारी करके फिर आएंगे.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kiren Rijiju. Thank you for joining me on Frankly Speaking.
It's my pleasure. Thank you.